Okay, it's Open Line Friday, and back to the phones we go. Falls Church, Virginia. Hi, Jim. Glad you waited. Great to have you here. Hi.
Hi, Rush. Now, I know that Republicans are big supporters of tax cuts to create jobs, so I'm a little confused here. I mean, if you Google American Jobs Act online, you'll find that in the jobs bill, $250 billion of it is payroll tax cuts for working people and also the job creators, the employers. So I'm wondering if you would ask our congressional Republican leaders to support a payroll tax cut of $250 billion.
Would I ask the Republican leaders to support a payroll tax cut of $250 billion?
Because you have a lot of clout, of course.
Well, that's true.
I mean, a majority of the Jobs Act is tax cuts, so I was wondering if you could help us get that through.
No, a majority of the Jobs Act is tax increases. In fact, it's a...
There's zero tax increases, Rush, and anybody can Google American Jobs Act and find out that's not
blog
true.
Are you calling from or reading from?
Well,
you realize what is it? What is
Jobs Act website? And if you can go to the congressional record, I'm sure you'll easily find.
I'm telling you, this is not arguable. There's not one tax cut in that thing that is real. It is a total tax increase bill. Let me ask you, what is it that funds Social Security?
Is it the payroll tax?
Right. Now, that's the only funding source for Social Security. So we got a Democrat president who wants to cut funding for Social Security.
Well, any tax cut is going to take away from the general fund.
No, that's not
taking away from the
many tax cuts raise revenue. Many tax cuts raise revenue and generate new money to the Treasury.
Are the ones that actually affect the middle class as opposed to tax cuts for the rich.
Well, look at who are we going to help? The middle class and then put Social Security recipients on ice? Or are we going to
help both of them and give Oprah maybe a 3% tax increase like under the Clinton administration?
Yeah, see, this is what I find fascinating about you guys. I mean, on the one hand, if you're out there constantly lying about the fact that Republicans want to kick Social Security recipients out of their homes and deny them food and make them eat dog food, and your president comes along and cuts the only funding program that they've got in half, and you support it. And then you want to call it a wonderful tax cut bill. If this bill were filled with tax cuts, everybody and their uncle on both sides of the aisle would be rushing to sign it. But this president doesn't believe in tax cuts. He wants tax increases, and that's all this bill is. I got an interesting email during the break. Rush, I can remember in the past where you had a caller like that, you would try to teach them why they were wrong. Why did you just not ask the guy to hold on and tell him where he was wrong? It's a great, great question. And in this instance, it was simply my instinct. We were talking with somebody who was purposely pig ignorant. We had somebody on the phone who was not interested in being right or wrong. We had somebody on the phone who was nothing but a partisan hack. Not one thing he said was true. There was this guy, the things that he was attempting to tell us he believed, that was not the point. He's simply trying to counter what is being effectively stated on this program. Let me go back to the first hour and our affiliate in Chicago, WLS, where they interviewed Dick Durbin. Dick Durbin admits that they can't find any Democrat votes for Obama's jobs bill because he has no votes in the Senate from people who want to run for re-election supporting tax increases. He can't find any Democrats who will vote for tax increases right now when they're up for re-election. So you got one of Obama's lieutenants in the Senate admitting that it's a tax increase bill. You also have even the there's a talking points memo, a blog, which is essentially a Democrat outpost, says Obama's jobs bill increases taxes by $1.5 trillion. To the left, that's one of its selling points. to the genuine left, not like this guy that called, but to the genuine left, the fact that there are $1.5 billion $1.5 trillion in tax increases is why they like it. It's the class warfare. They think only the rich are going to get soaked. So this guy calls up and he wants to harp on the payroll tax, $250 billion. We've been there and done that. On Tuesday, Obama tried to keep pressure on Congress to consider his $450 billion jobs bill. Dick Durbin, well, the oil-producing state senators don't like eliminating or reducing the subsidy for oil companies. How do you people on the left like hearing that? You hate big oil. You want to get rid of what you think is a tax break. And here's Durbin saying Democrat senators won't vote to get rid of that, not when they're up for re-election. And then Durbin said there are some senators who are up for re-election who say, I'm never going to vote for a tax increase while I'm up for election, even on the wealthiest people. So I get a guy who's essentially calling me from a blog, trying to simply score some political points. He's not interested in what's right or wrong. This guy's just a partisan hack trying to counter the effective dissemination of information on this program. And, of course, it's always going to fail. We're rooted in the truth here. We are engaged in a relentless, unstoppable pursuit of the truth. The left's only hope is to blur the truth. The left's only hope ever is to pull off a series of lies about what they believe and what their intentions are. This Talking Points memo, the Democrat House organ admitting, and they're proudly saying $1.5 trillion of tax increases in this bill. So that's why I didn't hang in with the guy, folks, because it would have been like trying to talk to James Carville. Not going to change his mind about anything, and that's not why he called anybody. I don't even know that he really believed what he was saying. He was just... You think he's a plant? You know, seminar caller plant. Yeah, well, different subject matter. The other three that we've had this week have talked about different things. But yeah, there's no question. Look, the regime supporters out there are in a panic. And why are they in a panic? They're in a panic because they're getting what they wanted. They got health care. They're getting a promise to raise taxes on the rich. And it's dooming them. Their leader would face a landslide defeat if the election were today. So, of course, they're going to start calling this program and trying to counterbalance what's happening here. We're just way too affected. That's why I'm not going to waste time talking with the guy. Dick Durbin's a second-ranking Democrat in the Senate, right behind Dingy Harry, and he's admitting he can't get any votes from Democrats because it's a tax increase bill and they're up for re-election.